details emerge.
They sat outside while our children were screaming and bleeding out.
About the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Cancer deaths rising in the U.S.
has now become much more prevalent in patients under 55.
Affecting a new demographic more now than previous years. And a snowy championship. Teams around the world carving their greatest masterpiece. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Anthony Cruz.
I'm Natalie LaRoche-Petrie. Today is Friday, January 19th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Kaplan News.
A major development in Florida's diversity, equity, and inclusion debate, with both federal and state dollars being pulled from DEI programs at public colleges. The Florida Board of Education announced recently that it will be slashing public funds for its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. DEI programs have been a controversial topic among Republican candidates.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has spoken out against these programs multiple times in his so-called war on woke. State schools are no longer allowed to use state dollars for DEI programs, and people are split on how they feel about it.
It is incredibly hard to see this implementation process move forward.
You don't just get to take taxpayer dollars and do whatever the heck you want to do.
Critics claim social activism will take a nosedive after the ruling, while supporters believe this is the right choice to end wokeness and politics in schools.
A new devastating report from the Justice Department on Thursday found that local law enforcement failed to adequately respond to the shooting that took place in Uvalde in 2022. In more than 500 pages, the Department of Justice details that the process of notifying parents was disorganized and chaotic. Some parents were told that their child had survived when in fact they did not make it.
Series of major failures in leadership, in tactics, in communications, in training, and in preparedness were made by law enforcement leaders and others responding to the mass shooting at Robb Elementary.
The city responded in a statement that they made changes to leadership and acquired new equipment for law enforcement. Additionally, the city hired a private investigator to look into what happened on that day.
A Florida community in mourning today after the vigil for a student was accidentally run over by a school bus. As Kaplan's Aisha Ambrister reports, neighbors lit candles in his honor Wednesday.
A group of family, friends, and community members coming together to honor the life of 9-year-old Elias Marshall Rodriguez. Loved ones writing messages at the scene of the crash. The boy's cousin, Trinae Gale, says Elias was diagnosed with leukemia at just 2 years old.
He was well known in the area. A lot of parents loved him, allowed him to come over, spend the weekends, nights with them, and then he also played Little League towards Avalon area.
As a cancer survivor, she says his energy lit up the room.
He was a very bubbly person, and he was very compassionate. He loved being around people. He loved being outside.
Troopers say the school bus pulled into the Waterford East Apartments complex. The bus pulled into the entrance, dropped the child off, and that's when troopers say the child crawled under the bus to retrieve a ball when he was hit and killed. Orange County Public Schools says it provided grief counselors at Lawton Childs Elementary and Waterford Lakes Elementary on Wednesday. School officials say the 50-year-old male driver of the school bus has been employed with the district for at least a decade. The boy's family has set up a memorial fund describing the long journey ahead for the family. This is Aisha Ambrister with Kaplan News.
Cancer concerns for young adults. As Kaplan's Victoria Fonseca reports, a surprising number are receiving their first diagnosis before their 50th birthday.
I knew something wasn't right.
Colon cancer survivor Timothy Mitchell has experienced firsthand the rise in middle-aged cancer patients.
I was 43 years old at the time when I was diagnosed. You feel really alone.
Doctors have theories on the rise of diagnoses.
This trend in obesity that has happened in the last 20 years is showing itself now as an increase in certain cancers.
Rates in cancer cases for both men and women are increasing at an alarming rate. However, the mortality rate for cancer has been proven to be decreasing.
It's a scary statistic. More than half of the patients in my clinic in that building are under the age of 50.
Dr. John Marshall explains the type of cancer that has been at the forefront of diagnoses for adults under 50.
Shockingly, colorectal cancer is driving this the most.
Studies also show that Black and brown communities are disproportionately affected by the high cancer rates.
So these are communities that may not go to the doctor even once they have symptoms.
But what can everyone do to counter these statistics?
As much as you can, be the right weight. Exercise is really important. We understand the importance of not only just a good walk every day, but getting your heart rate up regularly is good for your health.
Completing regular health checkups and early detection have proven to have the capacity to save lives.
Early detection is key. You know, if you catch it early, then it's treatable. And then if you treat it, you can beat it.
For Kaplan News, I'm Victoria Fonseca.
Last night at this very studio, Island TV recorded the first episode of its newest show, hosted by former Miami Gardens Mayor Oliver Gilbert. Kaplan News reporter Laura Parfrey has more on this story.
Guests gathered at Florida International University's Biscayne Bay campus for a live taping of Island TV's newest show, In the 305. In the 305 is hosted by Miami-Dade County Commissioner Oliver Gilbert. His guests for the show were Mayor of Miami-Dade Daniela Levine Cava and Executive Director of Transportation Planning Eileen Bouclet.
It's not working, what your needs are.
I think Chairman Oliver Gilbert chose Island TV because we're very diverse. We have a Haitian Creole population, we have a French population, we have a Haitian Creole viewership, we have viewers that speak French and English and Spanish, and so I think he really wanted a diverse network, a network that was also streamed globally.
The show's topics of discussion were better transportation, making it safer for passengers, and the cost of transit. Climate change became a hot topic amongst the panelists. They all agreed that updates to the various modes of transportation in Miami can have a positive impact on the environment in the pursuit for a greener transit system.
In the 305, what's next? Well, now I should tell you, stay tuned and see. But no, I think it's probably going to be housing. You know, transportation and housing are linked a lot, but we have to talk about housing. The cost of housing, we're housing burdened in a way because it costs so much to live here, and wages are really low here. And so the combination of those two things makes it very difficult for a community that's growing at our pace. And so we have to talk about housing because the people who are here have to be able to afford to actually work and live where they work. And so we're going to talk about that.
You can catch In the 305 on most major streaming services and on Comcast Channel 1093. You can watch today's episode when it starts streaming sometime in February. Reporting from FIU's Biscayne Bay campus, I'm Laura Palfrey.
SpaceX launched its AX-3 rocket ship from Kennedy Center last night, and it's expected to dock at the International Space Station later this evening. The ship is set for its Axiom space mission, in which the astronauts will be conducting microgravity research and technological demonstrations. The crew consists of 4 private astronauts, each hailing from a European country.
Art on ice, making the best of the nation's frigid temperatures.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
I thought the whole house was gonna go crashing down. I was screaming.
A close call for children when a tree takes a tumble. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
Close call. A tree doing damage as temperatures fall across the country. An Arctic blast wraps up in the eastern U.S., but a new winter storm system brings freezing rain, causing treacherous road conditions in the Pacific Northwest.
Officials said at least 7 people in Oregon have been killed by the winter weather. Elizabeth Garcia shows us the damage nationwide.
In Portland, Oregon, this tree shredded shingles and cut clear through a roof, only feet from 10-year-old Harlow and her friend Lucy, both on a play date.
I thought the whole house was going to go crashing down, and I was screaming.
This tree careened into a house in Lake Oswego, Oregon, killing an elderly man who was sleeping on the second floor. Across the state, authorities says severe winter weather killed at least 7 people in the Portland area. The unrelenting storm sending snowplows into overdrive from coast to coast. D.C., Louisiana, Oregon, and Montana all experiencing winter wallops.
The roads are awful. The best thing that could happen is if people would stay home.
The driving conditions so bad in Concord, Massachusetts, that this truck went right off the road into some very icy water. The driver survived. In New York through Thursday, there's a snowy bullseye around the Buffalo area. Watertown is also set to see significant winter weather, seen in the green and purple. Up to 3 feet of snow could fall over the Cascade Mountains through Thursday afternoon, and up to 2 feet is possible in higher elevation areas in parts of Washington, Idaho, and Montana. Then there are the airports.
Checked it 15 minutes ago, and now when we checked in, it's 2 hours delayed.
Delays for passengers in Atlanta headed north. The good news, a Thursday retreat of the cold air. Warm-ups in Oklahoma City, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. before temperatures plunge again this weekend. I'm Elizabeth Garcia with Kaplan News.
This week is the World Snow Sculpting Championship in Minnesota, where 12 teams carved masterpieces into snow in just 64 hours. Minnesota's sparsely snowy winter created challenges, but snowmaking crews from Afton Alps kept the championship possible. According to the Chamber of Commerce, last year's event drew 50,000 people to Stillwater. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Natalie LaRoche-Petrie.
And I'm Anthony Cruz. Get more news anytime at kaplannews.fiu.edu.